Control of the U.S. Senate is on the line as Georgians count the votes for the state's runoff election. Village leaders in Airport Drive believe they were unfairly left out of CARES Act funding from the county. Missouri Southern Sports Department sees another departure as the athletic director announces he's resigning.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
The polls have closed and the votes are now being counted in the runoff elections in Georgia. Both of the state's Senate seats are up for grabs, and with them, so is control of the U.S. Senate. Right now, the races are tight as the candidates await votes from DeKalb County largely. Skylar Henry is in Atlanta with more on what's at stake.
The eyes of the nation are on Georgia tonight, following the state's special elections to fill 2 Senate seats.
Today is the day. We're going to make it happen today.
Republicans David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler faced Democrats John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. None got 50% of the votes in November, triggering automatic runoffs under Georgia law.
You can't complain if you don't vote.
More than 3 million Georgians voted early, shattering the state's record for total turnout in a runoff.
The future of the country is on the ballot here in Georgia today.
These races will determine which party controls the U.S. Senate. The GOP needs to win only one to maintain its majority.
No serious problems were reported at polling locations here in Atlanta, but the FBI is investigating after election workers in 10 counties received email threats.
Underscoring the importance of these elections, on Monday, President Trump and President-elect Biden were both in Georgia to campaign.
Vote. Make sure your voice is heard.
The whole world is watching the people of Georgia tomorrow.
Georgia election officials have warned that it could be days before all the votes are counted and a winner is declared. They also said there have been no reports of widespread fraud or other irregularities. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Atlanta.
Again, the race is too close to call, but we will let you know if we get a projection from CBS before the end of this broadcast. Nick Kelly right now is keeping an eye on the weather numbers for us.
Not much to keep an eye on throughout the day, though, that's for sure, Dow. Quiet skies all day, and certainly helped temperatures warm up quite a bit. 56 for an official high at Joplin Regional after we started. Cold at 25 this morning. All this evening long, we've just seen partly to mostly cloudy skies filter in, signaling the next storm system ready to work in from the west. So far this evening, all the action's been across the northern plains and down into Colorado and Kansas. That's where all the rain and snow have been. Well, we're going to start to see the rain chances sneak in as we head into tomorrow. In the meantime, 41 at Stockton, 45 in Commerce, mid-40s for the vast majority of the area, but I think we can drop back into the upper 30s before the cloud cover really takes a hold, and especially before the rain chances really start to ramp up throughout the day tomorrow. Despite the clouds and the rain, I think we can get highs back into the mid-40s. That means this will start as rain, this storm system, but it could have this rain-snow mix by Thursday. We'll see what that wants to do for us in a bit, though.
All right, see you soon. Officials with the village of Airport Drive were upset after the Jasper County Commission denies their CARES Act funding request. In April and May, the village started 2 programs to help local business owners stay afloat during the state's stay-at-home order. The attorney for the village says in September they asked the Jasper County Commission for CARES funding to recoup those costs. The county notified the village that their requests were going to be denied after the village waited 3 months for an answer. This morning, the commission officially denied the requests. The village's attorney tells us they were denied because the commission planned to use funds for vaccine distribution.
Personally, I can't help but feel that had at least the first application by the village been taken up timely, then the reasoning that they use at this point to deny it wouldn't be the reasoning they could use at that point.
The Jasper County Commission declined to comment specifically on the situation with Airport Drive or why they denied the request. So far, Jasper County has allocated around $11 million of the $14 million in CARES Act funding it received. We have a list of where most of that money has gone on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Missouri's daily new COVID-19 cases have dropped over the past 6 weeks, but hospitalizations statewide remain steady, and in our area, they're climbing. Mercy Hospital says they currently have 54 COVID patients. That's 14 more than last week. Freeman has 49 current patients, up 1 from last week. Of those 49, 13 are in the ICU, which is down from 15 last week. If you've been constantly hitting refresh on your bank account in search of your $600 stimulus payment, well, there could be a reason it's not there yet. People began posting on social media today that when checking the status of their stimulus payment, they noticed the account number it says it was deposited in was wrong number. We looked into it and found the account numbers belong to H&R Block and are associated with a refund transfer option they provide taxpayers when filing their taxes each year. That's worried some people expecting a payment.
Once the tool became available on the IRS website, I went ahead and checked it, and lo and behold, it shows, the last four numbers of some other account that is not my bank account.
We reached out to H&R Block. Officials there said they are aware of the issue and they're working to process the payments as quickly as possible. We also reached out to the IRS about what caused the issue, but we have not yet gotten a response. There's a new sheriff in town in Ottawa County. County officials today swore in Sheriff David Dean. Dean started working as the sheriff yesterday. He says he wants to make the community proud of the sheriff's office again.
Just get this sheriff's office where people can be proud of it again. Make everybody within this sheriff's office a family, to where everybody is happy to come to work, glad to come to work.
New County Commissioner Stephen Chasteen was also sworn in today. An office manager for a Carthage dentist is accused of stealing tens of thousands of dollars from her employer. Authorities say from 2017 until January 2020, Miranda Wolf failed to deposit nearly $60,000 in cash that customers had paid to the dental firm where she worked. She's also accused of increasing her pay by more than $44,000 in 2019 and $2,700 in 2020, and using the company credit card to make more than $27,000 in unauthorized payments. Authorities have charged Wolf with 3 counts of stealing more than $25,000. Still ahead, how Missouri Southern's using using social media and old-fashioned word of mouth to attract future students. And geologists might know the reason there's been a whole lot of shaking going on in Kansas. Technology is changing the way universities recruit students. At Missouri Southern, the marketing department is growing its social media ambassador program, utilizing influencers to expand its presence and reach online. KOAM's Kate Kelly takes a look.
Hannah Smithson has nearly 1,400 followers on Instagram, and that number continues to grow as she adds to her profile with plenty of green and gold.
I had a few people that have looked at my profile, and they're like, okay, I see you go in Joplin, what school is that? And I tell them about it, and they're like, we've never heard about it, what made you come here? And so I tell them.
As part of Missouri Southern's social media ambassador program, Hannah uses her reach to promote campus events, show off Southern swag, and offer helpful advice.
They ask me questions about campus or even classes. I've had people that just message me about classes asking me for help or just how to get around campus, stuff like that. So it's definitely something that people feel like they can just reach out to me.
The program began about a year ago under Ashley Erickson. It started off with just 8 students, but quickly grew to 15. She says it's become a useful tool to boost engagement online.
Everyone kind of can feel what an ad looks like. And our goal is to create this genuine and authentic voice. And what better way to create that voice than to use actual voices of our own students.
Erickson says prospective students tend to respond more to hearing testimonials from people they see as their peers.
Our goal is to create a relationship with our campus community and then with the high school community. We want these people to be local, or people that are relatable. So they're transfer students, or they're from some of the schools, the high schools that are just from around here.
In addition to getting free stuff, influencers also take home a new set of skills, something Smithson plans on using in her future.
To my field, I'm actually looking at a marketing position at a hospital back home. I didn't ever think I would be doing something like that, but this has really opened doors for me. So that's another thing that I'm really thankful for this program about.
In Joplin, Kate Kelly, KOAM News.
Erickson says some influencers have told her that the program kept them from dropping out when things got difficult during lockdown, providing them with a network of friends to keep them going. The spring 2021 social media ambassador application deadline is 5 p.m. on January 13th. Earthquakes in Kansas aren't exactly rare these days. Just yesterday morning, residents of Sedgwick County woke up to a 2.2 earthquake. What is new could be the understanding of the fault line that's causing them. Dr. Sal Mazzullo, a retired professor of geology at Wichita State, says he believes there are new, previously unrecognized faults under Wichita.
Faults slip to create earthquakes all in this area, from Central to 13th, mostly all of them are right in this area. That's where we think a possibly previously unrecognized fault exists. It may exist. It could also be due to a known fault that's present just to the west of us that runs on the other side of Wichita.
Mazzullo adds that it's nearly impossible to predict whether the quakes will increase in occurrence or strength. People in Kenosha, Wisconsin are bracing for more protests now that the prosecutor has announced he's not charging a white police officer with shooting a black man in the back in August. The shooting sparked several nights of protest in that small city near the Illinois border. A shooting at one of those protests left 2 people dead. Chris Martinez has the latest.
Prosecutors in Kenosha, Wisconsin have decided not to charge police officer Rustin Chesky in connection with the shooting of Jacob Blake in August.
No Kenosha law enforcement officer in this case will be charged with any criminal offense based on the facts and the laws. No charge will be filed against Jacob Blake in regards to this incident as well.
Blake's family is outraged at the decision.
It's 2021 and we're not going for it. We're going to unite our people from coast to coast until we get justice.
Cell phone video captured Chesky shooting Blake 7 times in the back as he leaned into his minivan following a domestic dispute. His 3 children were inside the vehicle. The prosecutor said Chesky acted in self-defense because Blake was armed with a knife and resisting arrest. The shooting left Blake paralyzed. It sparked several nights of sometimes violent protests. During one of the demonstrations, an Illinois teenager opened fire with an assault-type rifle on 3 people, leaving 2 dead. 18-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse says he was acting in self-defense. Today, he pleaded not guilty to all charges. His trial is set for March 29th. Residents of Kenosha are now bracing for more protests following the prosecutor's decision. Business owners have boarded up their stores.
Either way their verdict goes, someone's going to be upset, and we just hope that whatever faction is upset decides to be peaceful and calm.
And Governor Tony Evers has activated the National Guard to help keep the peace. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A little bit later on KOAM News at 10, Missouri Southern's athletic director is stepping down. We're going to find out who will fill the role.
Plus, our next storm system on the way wants to bring rain and snow chances back in the fold. We'll break the system down up next. We kept things pretty quiet for today, but believe it or not, we actually had another bit of a foggy start. And if you don't believe me, the time lapse from Indigo Sky outside of Seneca, Missouri showed at least that little bit of patchy fog. At least it wasn't as widespread and thankfully not as dense as the fog was over the past few nights. Once we got rid of this fog, though, we've enjoyed partly to mostly sunny skies all day, but the weather is getting ready to shake things up once again as we head into the middle of the week. 46 in Joplin now. Quiet skies still outside, but partly to mostly cloudy skies is what we've been seeing all evening long. 46 in CJ, Oronogo, Webb City, Seneca at 45. We have 44 in Neosho and a little bit cooler. Some lower 40s popping up already near Granby, where you're sitting at 42. In general, most spots trying to hold on to the mid 40s, but already seeing more lower 40s popping up in our far eastern counties. I think we're fair game to drop back into the upper 30s to near 40 before we see the rain chances ramp up. Not seeing a whole lot out there right now, though, but we're seeing some more radar returns suggesting maybe a few random sprinkles or maybe just the very lightest of rain working across I-49 as you work through Vernon County and up to Bates County, and maybe a little bit more prevalent across the Kansas City metro. For most of us, though, we're just mostly cloudy to begin the late night out as we continue to watch our next storm system out west, where it's definitely raining and snowing across the Central Plains and back into Kansas and Colorado. 2 parts to the system. First, a cold front. That's definitely bringing colder air our way for the next few days and setting us up for a cold weekend eventually. But the main part of the system that's doing the heavy lifting, this upper low working out of the Rockies. This is what's going to really amp up our rain chances for tomorrow, and potentially with colder air on the way, end this as rain and snow chances by Thursday. So we're just holding steady with the forecast, keeping quiet to start the overnight. Definitely cloudy skies as the morning drive begins. Then the rain chances start to ramp up. You saw how at 6 a.m. the future track probably not showing anything. I wouldn't be surprised if we had some showers getting going as early as 6 a.m., but definitely throughout the morning drive and certainly throughout the day tomorrow, the rain chances are going to increase across the region. I don't think it's going to be too terribly heavy, though. We'll just go light to moderate showers, but even though it's not going to be heavy, it's going to have an impact on temperatures. 39 in the morning, 42 by noon, and then with afternoon highs right around 45. This system begins as all rain, but here's 9 o'clock. You can see how we see some hints of pink and blue working into this massive rain. That's colder air a lot, and eventually at the surface working down and switching this to a rain-snow mix late Wednesday night, continuing through Thursday morning, and it wants to try and taper off as we go into Thursday afternoon, although I wouldn't be surprised if we have some straggling showers, rain or snow showers for your Thursday afternoon. As far as what to expect with snow, I'm thinking for most of us it's fair to say an inch or less. If we can have any accumulating snow, the better shots for any minor accumulations, though, the closer you get to Stockton Lake and the Table Rock Lake, maybe 1 to 2 inches out that way. I'm seeing more in the way of rain coming out of this, anywhere from ½ an inch to 1 inch of rain. So if you've been needing rainfall, the system definitely wants to deliver on that before it departs us on Thursday. But it's definitely going to trend us colder, certainly compared to today. 45 tomorrow, staying in the 30s for a cold Thursday. Dry for Friday and Saturday with highs near 40. Then I want to keep an eye on the system on Sunday. It mainly wants to pass to the south, but I wouldn't be surprised if it brought us a stray snow shower down. But definitely once the system passes, it's going to be kind of cold this weekend.
Which we should expect in January, after all.
Sounds about right.
Thanks, Nick. Still ahead, MSSU's athletic director announces he's stepping down, and the East Newton boys take on Neosho, and we have the highlights.
Missouri Southern announces a big change to its athletics department on Tuesday morning. Athletic Director Jared Bruggeman is stepping down in March after serving as AD for nearly 12 years. Missouri Southern Athletic Director Jared Bruggeman is about to make a career change.
I'm not sure if I want to be in athletics or not. It's been a great run for me. It's been 20-something years working in athletics. But also there's other opportunities out there as well.
Bruggeman is stepping down as athletic director at Southern, effective on March 16th, following the conclusion of the winter sports season.
This is the time of the year if we're going to be moving forward, time to get that announcement out. So very exciting time, I think, for me as a person, for the family, and certainly I think for Missouri Southern as to get a chance to bring somebody else in and get the program working as well.
Since being hired in 2009, Bruggeman, among other things, has helped bring some pretty big facilities additions to the school, including the North End Zone facility at the football stadium, artificial turf, and a new video board.
Oh, it means a lot. And again, it was a group effort. It means a lot to show how this campus can progress by working together and working with other folks, having donors out there, working with the community. Getting to know the people of Joplin in this region has been very special, and I want to thank the donors and all the boosters and all the support we've had to make this move forward.
Corey Reed will serve as interim athletic director when Bruggeman's resignation becomes official in mid-March.
I think Corey's a wonderful person. I mean, when she was here before, I didn't like it when she left and went to Neosho. I have 100% faith in her being able to step up in that role and do all the right things and handle all the situations. So she's a wonderful person, and Missouri Southern can't go wrong with her.
Missouri Southern is also currently looking for a head football coach after the school parted ways with Jeff Sims in December. Well, these two schools separated by less than 10 miles, and so far have been two of the best boys basketball programs in the area. The East Newton Patriots welcome in the Neosho Wildcats tonight for their first game of 2021. Now, East Newton, just one loss, sitting at 9-1. Neosho enters the night at 7-2 overall. East Newton grabs the early lead. That's Kyson Lehman. Bucket off the rebound. He had a game-high 17. Patriots up 3. Now, later on in the quarter, Lehman again, this time hitting the short jumper in the paint. East Newton now up by 4. And Neosho responds in the second. Nice reverse with the left there from Landon Austin. He had a team-high 15. Into the second, though, Kelton Sorrell through traffic for the score. Patriots up 3 at the break. They pulled away in the second half to win at 49-31, get to 10-1 on the year. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Petty Officer 2nd Class Jeremy Allen. The Joplin native served in the U.S. Navy. And we are proud to salute Petty Officer 2nd Class Jeremy Allen. He's tonight's four-state hero. In Italy, a ski instructor made a video of himself skiing alone through a town. His goal is to raise awareness about the losses the tourism and ski sectors suffered due to COVID-19. Giuliana Franceschi, he recorded the video skiing through the town of Rocco di Cambra, which is about 4,705 feet above sea level, give or take an inch. He hopes his initiative will help bring tourism back to the Italian town when COVID allows. Amazing video. Franceschi, who is also a city councilor, says the closures ordered by the government made tourism drop more than 80% in the region. Before we take a final look at the weather, I'll tell you real quickly, we are keeping an eye on those Georgia U.S. Senate races. It is razor thin, but there is no projected winner in either case yet. Well over 90% of the votes in. Who knows when we might know? Maybe not for a while.
Yeah, but at least we know one thing for sure. The weather tomorrow is going to be not as nice as it was today. Next storm system brings in clouds and rain, keeps us in the 40s. And with colder air Thursday, it could end as a rain-snow mix. We will have the very latest on the storm system coming up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, Dow.
Thanks, Nick, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.
If you see news happen